Have you ever struggled with your club coming too far inside on the takeaway, and then inevitably it just comes around steep over the top and you kind of have to flip as you come through impact? Did you know how you set up your lead arm has a huge impact in terms of avoiding that bad inside takeaway? We're going to talk about that in this video. Let's do one where I have my elbow set out, let's say outside of my body. And so this arm becomes really, really easy now as we look from the down the line perspective. It becomes very easy for that rotation to bring that club head way inside. Now once it's inside, it's going to lead to a motion like this, okay? Now let's try a setup where you take your elbow and you point it at your left hip, all right? So if I take my arm and it feels like, okay, I'm going to rotate it just a little, maybe than what would be natural like this, right? Just rotate it in a little more so I feel that elbow pointing to my left hip. Now it becomes, for me, the feeling is so much easier on this takeaway that the arm doesn't over-rotate. So as the arm sweeps across here on the takeaway, it's left the shaft such that the club head is going to still be slightly in front of the hands from the down the line perspective. Again, if I put my elbow more pointed outside my body, it's really, really easy that the club head comes inside my hands. Okay, elbow towards the hip. There we go. Elbow outside the hip, like that. So on your setup, try this. Put your elbow, lead hip, and as the arm sweeps across the body, you're going to find it's much easier. So let's look at this in a couple of tour swings, and you can see how it's really, really common that most professionals avoid ripping that club inside, and we'll see where their arm is on their setup. Here we've got a view of Dustin Johnson from two angles at the same time. So let's look at this left elbow. You can see how that's pointed in towards the left hip. And as he does the takeaway, you can see how the club head has not come inside the hands, but it's still outside the hands at this point in the swing. That leads to the shaft being able to go to this motion that is a little steeper to a little shallower through the transition. It's much, much easier to go through that sequence. Again, if we start with the lead arm pointed inside the body to the hip and keep the club head slightly outside the hands at this point in the swing. This is just one example of some keys that you've got to look for as you review video of your swing. We can help you with our online swing review program, give you detailed feedback. There's a 14-day free trial. Just click the link in the description below and you can get started today.